Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're going to be taking a look at sketching some design ideas for bottle design. What this is going to do is going to help teach you about drawing in 3D with a sketching technique that helps us generate design ideas quite quickly. Okay, what you're going to need today is a sheet of A4 plain paper and some form of pencil. HB is fine, but if you can get hold of one, a 3B or a 2B would help you with your sketching. Maybe if you're desperate you can bring a rubber with you as well, but I always advise to leave your rubber at home, get rid of it, we don't need it, we're sketching, we're out looking for ideas, not for a finished drawing yet. Now without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here I've got some reference material and some of the ideas I might want to nick and steal, which is what all good designers do. We take the best ideas, so I quite like the look of this grip, but I quite like this shape down here as well, so these might be some bits that I might take inspiration from. So, sketching. If you haven't got access to any images at home, then get a bottle of pop or a bottle of water and sketch from that. Okay, so first things first then, when we're sketching anything, I'm going to make sure that I put my first vertical line in, and I'm going to start quite loose. This just looks like a scrappy set of sketches here, and that's fine for what we need to begin with. Now, I'm going to have some parallel lines, so we know that that means that I'm going to end up with some lines that run like train tracks next to it. And I can do the same thing this side, like that. And then I'm going to move at approximately 45 degrees across, like this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. If I do that across the top, and again this and this, they're parallel, they run together. Same with this line, and when I put it on, that line there as well. Now, I'm going to do the same thing here, and this is parallel to this line. I'm going to rotate it round and take this line, and sometimes you could even just do that very faintly with the pencil and you'll see what I mean, and you can strike that line there. So I end up with this three-dimensional rectangular cuboid. Okay, and I could very faintly just plot these parallel lines in like that as well, so we could see through it. Now, what this allows us to do is inside this space here, I'm able to then just, with a light pencil line, a quick sketch in the middle of a circle, which is going to form this part of our bottle. And I can start by bringing this up like that. Now, this outside area, almost like a cage to my drawing. I draw with inside this, but I can, if I need to, I can break free of it, but it's just going to act as a guide for now. And I can just bring these lines up, these curves. And I'm treating this line a little bit like a mirror, so what I draw this side, I copy on the other side like that. Now, again, parallel lines. This curve is repeated below at the same point. Because it's isometric, that curve's going to be identical, so you know you're going to get the right shape as long as you copy that curve. Okay, so now I said I quite liked what's going off over here. Now, with any kind of set of sketches, it's quite important that we just do that, we sketch. We're not worried about the end result just yet. Now, did you see there that I was trying to capture that curve and I couldn't quite do it, but as soon as I started to shade the disc, I managed to get that line how I wanted it to be. And then from here I can break out of that little cage we had set up before. Now a lot of designers use odd numbers, so I'm going to put in a third disc down here and just break free a little bit in these corners. And you can see that I'm working at an angle, because as you're sketching and drawing, you'll be doing the same with the paper. You'll be shifting the paper to get a better angle and to strike that line. To try and sketch something with your wrist like this and bend your wrist, it's going to be, well, first of all, it's going to hurt your wrist, and second of all, you're not going to get a really nice flowing set of sketches. When sketching, you really want to be using your elbow and sketching with your elbow like this to get a real nice arc of movement, not with the wrist. Wrists for detail, and we're not doing detail because we're doing a sketch. So bear that in mind. Little tip for you there. Try and sketch with your arm, and if you can't get that angle, tilt your page. Okay, so that's one out of the way. Now with a page of sketches, I would probably suggest that we do 2 or 3 different ideas. So here's a different view of the same type of sketch. So instead of putting the parameter up the cage up outside first, I'm going to put that line of symmetry in there instead. And that then allows me to, and again I can project those lines off at about 45 degrees. Like that. It almost creates like a diamond or like a little kite. Like that. And then I can pull that up parallel to this line, and pull that up parallel to that line, like that. And then I can explore this top. So I quite like what's going off over here, so I'm going to have that there. And again, if I'm sketching it on this side, I'm going to copy it on this side like a mirror image. And again, I can put that disc in, tilt the page because I'm not getting the right angle. There we go. That's much better. Now, what's it going to look like if I bring that right in? So if we swoop it in, because we've got this little bit here, but actually this narrows, like I said before, and I quite like what I've got going off there. So let's bring that right down, like that, and then let's have it down here at the bottom. Nice, nice, okay. Yeah, I can quite like that. And let's just go wild. Let's just put some lines straight across like that, all parallel. Remember, keeping those lines nice and parallel. I quite like what's going off in these areas here. So let's see what happens when. Oh yes, yeah, this is it. This is what we're after. Lovely. Bend that around. What's happening here? That's going to come down like that and join there. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, okay. So now we're starting to create this beautiful little design based on a few lines that have got in this really organic, twisting, morphing bottle shape now. That lovely ergonomic grip. Oh yeah, there we go. Lovely. And again, we can do a little band underneath, like a little brake seal band, I suppose. And if you can't quite get it, don't forget that disc. Okay, quite like that. Let's move on to the next one. So all of a sudden your sketches are going to start to come a little bit thicker, a little bit faster. And that's just due to practice. So I'd say for you guys at home, aim for about 3, 4, maybe 5 sketches on a page. Keep them quite big, as you can see here. This is my page. As I zoom out, yeah, there we go. You'll be able to see that I'm keeping them quite large. They're about 2 fists on a page high. So if you put your 2 fists on there, that's about how high you want them to be. Don't do these little piddly drawings. You want nice, big, strong drawings, line work. So there we go. Let's have that 45 degree again, and throw up my little cage like that. There we go. And then let's have a look at something like this, maybe, like quite like what's going off here. So I left my bottle cap quite high though, so let's go a bit more boxy with this one. Now we can still draw in 3 dimensions here and still have a boxy area. But what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and go to the outsides of this cage and make something just, you know, a bit fun, a little bit interactive here. What kind of bottle am I creating here? I mean, this is something else. This, but even putting these discs in here, you just, maybe that's a space for the label to go. And we could do the same thing. We could try and add that organic feel to it and just strike a few lines next to it like that, and then maybe bring this in around there like that. And just see exactly how your sketches start to evolve. I mean, some of your ideas will be good, some of them will be not so good, but that's alright because it's all part of this design process. And just see how I'm sketching, I'm throwing these lines out to see if I can capture something that's quite interesting. I'll actually bring this bottle back down again now. I can extend this down. There we go. At no point am I trying to draw something like that as well. I'm not trying to do it in one line. It's never going to work. So sketch, go around it. If you do something that's wrong like that, ignore it, go around the bit that you want to show off in dark. There you go. I quite like this V actually. I don't know where this has come from. It's part of the kite, I suppose, but let's bring that in there as well. Let's maybe bring it up here. The bottle cap lid, maybe. Interesting. Okay, so we've got a few different sketches there. And I'm quite happy with those. They're quite good. To say we've been sketching for about 10 minutes, we've got 3 ideas there. Some of them are better than others. I mean, we've got a little warm up here, just to get us used to the idea. This one's quite nice. This one's just interesting. It's just a different take on things. But you can quite quickly see how you can sketch ideas quickly. And eventually, what will happen is, after you keep practicing this, you'll get to a point where you can sketch without the box, without the parameters, and you don't need to put that little cage in there, because you can automatically, your eye and your hand-eye coordination will see the cage without it actually having to be there, and then you'll be able to just draw and sketch things without it. But this will come with practice. And don't worry about how good or how poor the drawing looks. It's a sketch. It is designed, and I say this in every video almost, don't I, about sketching. It's designed to get your ideas down on paper. It doesn't matter if the ideas aren't very good, because at this point, it doesn't matter. Because we might do a page like this, and you might send it to a client and go, well, which ones do you like? And he'll go, oh, I want this one. And you go, okay, well, I'll take that idea and develop it and do 3 or 4 different versions of that style. So again, don't worry too much about the idea, just worry about getting your ideas onto paper. Yeah, okay. Now, if you wanted to add a splash of colour, then I suggest we do so, but probably with just 1 or 2 colours. I mean, I've got a blue there. Like we've got here, I've just had some little highlights in and just shade a little bit in like that, just to sort of show, okay, this is a translucent or transparent object. You don't have to spend too long on this. If you want to, you can spend all day on it if you wanted to really render it out and make it look translucent or what have you, but essentially your design is almost finished. Now you could as well, something, a little tip I suggest, is just add a little bit of shadow underneath with a bit of colour to show it's reflecting that light. And then I might come in here and just shade in that lid. Like that. And I can do the same thing in here as well and just add a little bit of shadow, a little bit of reflection. Shade in that bottle lid. This one's quite an interesting one. Let's add a bit of colour in here. And again, you can see how swiftly I'm sketching this colour in. I'm not really too worried about rendering the entire object. I want to give a suggestion. I want to show the viewer, this is my idea. What do you think? Okay. And there's a design sketch page with little ideas on it. Now, what have we learnt in today's session? Okay, so in today's session we've looked at adding that isometric cage on the outside of a drawing to help us sketch it in 3 dimensions. We've revised the idea that a sketch is not designed for a finished drawing, but it is just purely a vessel for you to get your ideas onto paper. We strongly advise staying away from things like rubbers, and if you do make a mistake, just go around your area nice and dark. Show off that process and allow the viewer to see your journey through this design process. Okay, so for you guys at home, we'd expect you guys to complete a page of design ideas for a new bottle design idea, and we'd look to see about 4 or 3 good sketches on a sheet of A4 plain paper. You could do more if you wish, but that's what we're expecting. Okay, so from me at the channel at Mr. Design Technology, stay safe, don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.